Please remain standing for the prayer before the crucifix. We would now like to call on Father Nelio Bulawan, OFM, Director of Seminarians, for the opening remarks.
Good evening, my dear friends, St. Francis. Before I actually welcome you all, let me share with you some thoughts about this presentation this evening. Why concert? Why songs and dances? In the medieval times, hagiographies or stories about saints, sometimes called legends, were imparted on only in narrative forms, or written in plain biographies, or told in prose. The hagiographies of Saint Francis, however, were told not only in written biographies or plain narratives, but also in songs, in poems, canticles, gestes, and in various musical and rhythmic renditions. The life of Saint Francis is filled with music. He did not just love music, his life was music itself. The life of Francis, like that of Christ, is a liturgy, lauds and praises for God, our Father. The tradition of imparting the life of Francis in songs and dances, in poems, in rhymes and rhythms, is being preserved by friars and other brothers and sisters in the big Franciscan family all over the world. OLAS continues this tradition. Hence, this yearly musical of the life of Saint Francis. And why simple and radical? The life of Saint Francis radically thwarted the social values of his time, both within the church and without. While the institutional church or the imperial church scampered for wealth and power, Francis stripped himself naked of all worldly cares. While most religious founders chose only parts of the gospel as their guide for life, Francis opted for a life without anything of his own. While the church focused and was concerned only on the soul's salvation, Francis looked at man in his entire person, both body and soul, as image of God. Hence, the Franciscan concern not only for the soul, but also for the body as well. And therefore, the Franciscan concern for justice, peace, and integrity of creation. In the time when matter was considered as evil and creation viewed as hindrance for mystical ascent to God, Francis embraced creation as brothers and sisters and as co-travelers back to God. Francis' theology of reform meant a complete return and total rebuilding of the old foundation of the gospel through his revolutionary simplicity and utterly radical life according to the form of the Holy Gospel. Now, in the name of Our Lady of the Angels Seminary, I welcome you all to Simply Unit Radical 2004.
Good evening, audiences. Thank you for coming to RCBC. By the way, where's my co-host? Josh, where are you?
I'm here.
Where?
Here.
Oh, okay.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Buonasera, Harold.
Buonasera, Josh.
Buonasera, friends. There you go. Do you know what buonasera means? Let me
Okay.
ask. Here.
Yes, yes, yes.
How are you today, ma'am?
I'm okay.
Yeah, that's right. You need to be okay. Anyway. How about here? How about you, sir? How are you?
Okay.
He's also okay. All of them are okay. How about you, sister? How are you?
Fine.
Wow. Different answer. Fine.
But the same meaning, I guess.
Buonasera, Harold.
Buonasera, Josh.
How are you tonight?
Fine. You look. Wow.
Yeah, I look so good.
Wow.
Thank you for Father Tony and Rainbow Bazaar for our clothes.
Thank you, thank you. And of
I'd like to
course,
thank God for my hair.
thank you.
So
Okay.
what?
The audience may be asking you, you
Mhm.
haven't answered the question.
Yes.
What?
Anyway, I greeted you buonasera. Buonasera is because it is good evening in Italian, and
Uh-huh.
our dear Francis is also an Italian.
Okay, in Assisi.
Yes, precisely.
Mhm.
So do you know where Assisi is?
You know where Assisi is?
You know where Assisi is?
Oh.
Where is
Some-
Assisi? Let me ask again some people in here.
Uh-huh.
How about you, ma'am? Do you know where Assisi is?
Somewhere in Italy.
Yes, but that is not the question. The question is,
Where is Timbuktu?
yes, that's right. Where's Timbuktu? Here.
There, oh.
Let me ask, I know this girl. Chem? Where is Timbuktu, Chem?
I'm sorry, Josh. I don't know.
Don't know the answer. I'm also sorry. How about you, ma'am? Where is Timbuktu?
I think I have also to address that question to you.
Okay.
Well, actually, I can answer that, but I want you guys to answer my question first. How about you, ma'am? Where is Timbuktu? Where do you think?
I don't know.
You also don't know, but actually, ladies and gentlemen, Timbuktu is between.
Timbuk 1 and Timbuk 3.
That's it.
Okay, let's go up the stage, Josh.
Okay, here we go.
Oh. Lights, please. Thank you.
So once again, I have another microphone.
Huh.
Welcome to our drama concert entitled Simple Lang Pero Radical.
Okay, can you greet your seatmates with Buonasera? Buonasera. Okay,
That's good.
thank you.
Once again, a little bit louder, please.
Buonasera.
With a big smile. That's it.
Okay,
Thank
before we go,
Mhm.
before we begin, we would like to acknowledge the presence of our dear Bishop, Bishop Antonio Tobias. He's right there.
you. Welcome, Bishop.
Thank you, Bishop.
Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Okay. This extravaganza showcasing the life and the message of Saint Francis of Assisi is indeed very relevant for us today. In these times of economic recession, Francis teaches us about living the simple life.
In the face of tremendous pressure for us to accumulate more money and material possessions, Francis teaches us about love and generosity.
And in the midst of spiritual indifference and growing immorality, Francis teaches us about the need for a genuine conversion of the heart.
And if you came here today, this evening, expecting a show similar to the ones we see on television every Holy Week, I guess you must think again.
The life of our hero, Saint Francis of Assisi, unlike the Passion of Mel Gibson, is filled to the brim with drama, excitement, and conflict. Our special guest performers and our talented seminarians, that is us, will certainly act, sing, and dance their way into your hearts as they share with you the story of Saint Francis.
Feel your hearts burning within you as you hear about Saint Francis' ardent love for Lady Poverty. With wonder and joy, we shall witness the beginning of a vibrant and enduring religious movement that today continues to combat consumerism and materialism by offering the values of the gospel in the spirit of Saint Francis as an alternative lifestyle.
Sino nga ba si Kiko? Who is Francis? Who is this man? A man loved and venerated by countless people through the centuries. Believe it or not, guys, he was not an ordinary person just like you and I.
Yes. As a young man, the son of a wealthy merchant, Francis also fell into the trap of seeking happiness in worldly pleasures and material possessions, of course. But God, who is all good and abounding in mercy, came to the rescue, just like Superman, I guess, showing Francis in a dream that he was to espouse a bride more noble, more wealthy, more charming, more beautiful than any other bride, the Lady Poverty.
Bewildered and confused about the meaning of his dream, Francis desperately sought the guidance of the most reverend Guido, the Bishop of Assisi. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends, Francis and the Bishop.
Good morning, Monsignor.
Good morning to you, my son.
Monsignor, I don't know how to. I want to. I need your.
Come, Francis Bernardone. Don't waste my time with your mumbling and stumbling. What has happened to your tongue? Is it glib enough when you're out there shouting and singing with your vagabond friends, disturbing the quiet, the calm of Assisi, and disturbing my rest at night? What do you want? My time is precious. I'm a busy man.
I'm sorry, Monsignor, if my friends and I upset you. But we are young, and they are happy. Besides, we have very little to occupy us. What else can we do but wander about, singing and enjoying ourselves?
Well, you can do something useful during the day and, like the rest of men, sleep during the night and let others sleep.
That's just part of my trouble, Monsignor. I cannot sleep.
What? A full-blooded, vigorous young man cannot sleep? The sooner you see a Dr. Francis Bernardone, the better.
No, Monsignor. I don't need a doctor. I need help. I need your help. God's help.
My help? God's help? What about?
Oh, it's about my father.
What's wrong with your father?
Nothing really, Monsignor. Except what's wrong between my father and me.
And what's between you and your father?
The most beautiful lady in all the world.
Oh, now I understand. Now I understand why you idle away your time, wandering to the streets, going to parties, singing and dancing. The most beautiful lady in all the world, you say. Francis, my son, be once the most beautiful lady in all the world, Eve, caused all the trouble in the Garden of Eden. And so many of these modern 13th century Eves are no better. No wonder why your father, Pietro Bernardone, is so concerned about you.
No, Monsignor, no.
I know. She is the sun, the moon, the stars, and she could not even think of tempting you with an innocent little kiss.
But I'm talking about Lady Poverty.
Francis, don't fool me.
I am not fooling, Monsignor. I am in love with the high ideal, the beautiful ideal of gospel poverty. I think of gospel poverty as the woman of my dreams. Please be patient with me, Monsignor. Let me explain. I dreamt one night when I was alone inside a room with nightly storms. I heard a voice asking me who to serve, myself or the Most High. The dream is haunting me. It's pursuing me everywhere. The dream makes it clear as I journey to Him, taking my soul for the I see the world all coming to me. I ask myself, but why after me? I am a sinner, the sparrow of God, nothing to give God or man. The dream is haunting me. It's pursuing me everywhere. The dream makes it clear as I journey to Him, taking my soul for the Lord. And then a lady came into my life, telling me that joy is in being poor. When I am empty of worldly cares, I'll be rich with heavenly grace. The dream is haunting me. It's pursuing me everywhere. The dream makes it clear as I journey to You, taking my soul for
How can you stand there, dressed like a peacock and sing about the sparrow of God? Be realistic. Be practical.
Monsignor, from this time on, I shall be most practical. I'll give up everything that I have. Strip away these fine clothes. And then I shall stand naked before my Father in heaven, finding myself in poverty to Christ on the cross.
it would be easier for you, Francis, to love a real flesh and blood woman and not your lady poverty. Gospel poverty is a stern mistress. She demands heroic virtues and supernatural self-control. Why don't you just go home now, mix with your friends, forget about lady poverty and be reconciled to your father? In a week or two, he will forget about this woman of your dreams.
No! No, Monsignor! I will not! I cannot forget her.
Then, be prepared, Francis, not only to break your own heart, but your father's heart also.
Yes. Yes, thank you, my Lord Bishop. Thank you. Your blessing.
Hello, Harold.
Hello, Josh. Okay, I thought it was Bishop Tobias upstage. Anyway,
He's there.
okay. Anyway, where are we? Oh. As what we have said earlier, that Francis was the only son of Pietro Bernardone, a prosperous cloth merchant and one of the most influential businessmen of Assisi.
Actually, Pietro was away in France in a business trip when Francis was born. Francis' mother, Lady Pica, gave the child the name of Giovanni at baptism. When his father came home, he named the little son Francesco, which means the Frenchman, because he was so pleased with all the money he had made in France. So the child from that day on was always called Francesco, or Francis in English.
Pietro's worldly success secured for the young Francis a carefree life of material comforts, no doubt. Like many a father before him, he had dreams of his único hijo following him into the family business. Imagine his feelings when Francis, at the age of 23, returned to Assisi in a stage of depression over his way of life.
Francis' evident dissatisfaction with the material comforts of his life frustrated his father very much, particularly as Francis spontaneously began to share his family's wealth with the poor. Indeed, the lack of understanding between the two provoked harsh, angry words of the father and a sullen, hostile silence from the son. Pietro failed to recognize the turmoil in his son. Francis could not express himself to his father.
He did not mind giving Francis money for fine clothes or pleasures of any kind, and he allowed him to be as extravagant as he liked. But to want money to build up an old church, or to spend it in doing good, that was a no-no for a moment.
And that very evening, the Most Reverend Guido, Bishop of Assisi, had another visitor. Guess who? It's Pietro Bernardone, Francis' father.
An excellent dinner, Monsignor. I love your wine. It's good. But, as I was saying, that's how it is.
It seems to me, Pietro, that you're saying that you no longer need God. If you think you can get along well with your life without Him, of course, God will leave you to your own miserable self.
But, Monsignor, it is not me who no longer needs God. Apparently, it is God who does not need me. He acts for his own self-interest, and as you see, I don't seem to fit into his plans for my son Francis.
That's blasphemy, Pietro.
And your opinion is naturally a theology, I suppose. I say, God doesn't care about me. And you say, don't care about God. Both, it seems to me, are pronouncements of frustrated men.
I have some more wine. It will clear your mind.
Well, Monsignor. So wine is the church's new solution to the problem? The town drunkards
Anselmo, no doubt, will be the next pope.
Anselmo is a fool.
But he has bottles and bottles of wisdom in storage. Just one, a few. Presto. Liquid solutions!
You've grown sarcastic, Pietro.
I want you to do something about my San Francis. I want you to talk to him.
It won't do any good.
What do you mean it won't do any good?
I have talked to him
When?
this morning.
This morning?
He came to talk to me about his decision.
What decision?
He is leaving home, Pietro, to live as best as he can the gospel life.
And you approve of this
I
romantic...
approve of it.
Well, I'll be. So you two have fallen for this foolishness, Monsignor.
I have fallen for nothing, Pietro. I am a crafty old fox, and you know it. But I'm also the bishop, and I refuse to extinguish the spirit when I find it operating in men.
Surely you don't take this whole scheme seriously, Monsignor. My boy is deluding himself, and you along with him. Then I have not finished yet. He has not settled to anything serious in his life, and I'm very much sure, that this new scheme of his will pass just like the rest of his silly plans.
Then you must see that time alone will determine whether this is foolishness or truly the work of the Holy Spirit.
For those who don't know Francis, perhaps, but for those who do like me, the outcome is clear. He will forget this foolishness within a year. In the meantime, Your Excellency, will be playing the fool.
That I choose to gamble, Pietro. But of course I'm gambling from an invulnerable position. No matter what happens, I will emerge as a kind father who tried to understand.
But Your Excellency, Francis is my son. He is an extension of myself. But now, I don't recognize him. He's out there in space, and as if he have never been part of my life.
That's the way of sons, Pietro.
But he is rejecting me, and that is not the way of sons. I want him to live, to move away from me. But I cannot stand to think that he is so glad to leave me, that he has no regret, and he has no feelings for me. Can you understand that, Monsignor?
I can, Pietro. But I don't want to. It upsets me to that this decision to love God has this consequence. That it places fathers against sons, and sons against fathers. But of course, Christ himself said that this division would be. God is a jealous lover, Pietro. He demands all a man's love. If you encourage Francis now, he will return your love and belong more to you than he ever did. But if you reject him, he will not come back. For what he needs at the moment is for you, his father, to believe in him.
I'm sorry, Monsignor. I cannot believe in madness.
Then be prepared to lose your son, Pietro.
If he leaves my roof to chase after mystical butterflies, I will never permit him to return, nor will I have to speak with him again for the rest of my life.
Those are rash words, Pietro. You will forever regret them if you mean what you say.
Huh. It is Francis who will regret, not me. He is my son. He must make the first move. Let him return now, and all will be forgotten. Otherwise, I am finished with him. Now, if you will excuse me, Monsignor, I still have an important business to attend to. Good night, Your Excellency, and thank you for the dinner.
Good night, Pietro. May God give you patience and wisdom.
May God give me instead my son!
Two incidents stand out as pivotal in determining the course of Francis' life. Troubled and sad, Francis went back to Assisi.
As what we have said earlier, that Francis was the only son.
Yes, he was the son of Pietro Bernardone, I guess.
And that was a very nice conflict.
Troubled and sad, Francis went back to Assisi and, when he was once more inside the city walls, turned aside to pray in the little ruined church of San Damiano. And as he prayed, once more he heard a voice speaking to him, saying, "Francis, repair my church."
Now, Francis thought this moment that he was to build up to the ruined church in which he prayed. He did not understand that the command was that he should teach people who make up Christ's church on earth to be pure and good and strong.
The other decisive incident took place during Mass at the chapel of Porciuncula. When Francis was reading the Gospel, Christ's call seemed to sound in his ears. He had often read the words before, but that day they had a new message for him.
As ye go, preach, saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Provide neither gold nor silver, nor brass in your purses, neither 2 coats, neither shoes, nor yet staves.
Then he knew that Christ did not want him to be only good, but to teach others how to be good, and to look after Christ's poor and sick, always remaining poor and lowly himself. And as soon as he heard the call, he rose up, left all, and followed his master to his life's end.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus sent forth 12 apostles, having instructed them thus: do not go in the direction of the Gentiles, nor enter the towns of the Samaritans, but go instead to the lost sheep of Israel. And as you go, preach the message. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Cure the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, cast out devils. Freely you have received, freely give.
when it is worthy, and stay there until you leave. And as you enter the house, say God's peace to this house, God's peace to this house, peace to this house. The dream is haunting me, it's pursuing me everywhere. The dream makes it clear as I journey to Him, taking my song for the Lord. The Mass is ended. Go build my church. Come build my church, it's falling to ruin. That's what the Father tells me to do. Give stones and mortar, let's build together this lowly house of God. Come build my church, it's falling to ruin. That's what the Father tells me to do. Give stones and mortar, let's build together this lowly house of God. To every town and village and valley, preach what the good Lord has done for us. Tell of His mercy, sing of His love, let man glorify His name. Praise ye the Lord. Spirit, live like the lark and doves up above. Praise ye the Lord. Praise ye the Lord. Praise ye the Lord, oh my soul. Oh, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise ye the Lord. Praise ye the Lord. Praise ye the Lord, oh my soul. Oh, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Ang saya nila, no?
Yan talaga mga Franciscans. We are happy people.
Precisely. As time went on, Francis grew anxious to do more than preach at home, for Christ's message to him had been, "Go ye into all the world."
He set out many times, but always something prevented him from getting far, until at last he succeeded in reaching the land of the Saracens, where the Crusaders were fighting. His great hope was that he might see the Sultan and teach him about Christ, so that all his people might become Christians.
He had no fear at all, and when everyone warned him that he would certainly put to death, he said that it would be only a small matter if only he could teach the heathen about God.
Thus, in the midst of the Fifth Crusade of 1219, Francis dramatically crossed the battle lines at Damietta in order to speak with Malik al-Kamil, the Ayyubid Sultan of Egypt.
Intrigued by the courage and simplicity of this bold but unassuming man, the Sultan recognized Francis a Christian unlike any other.
Two greatly different men meet in the spirit of respect and concern. an irony, so to say. One with remarkable temporal authority, the other with unsurpassed spiritual energy.
My dear friends, Francis and the Sultan.
Well, little man, I see you have courage. You've journeyed through the roads of my country, roads from which no Christian foot can step without expecting death. And now, as you stand in my tent, I see your steady eyes. And I say to myself, I would like this man in my court. They would tell me the truth, not what I usually hear. Well, holy man, what do you want of me?
We wish to preach God's words and to die as martyrs to our faith.
Ah, that's easily arranged. No problem at all. Stand back, you dogs. I give the orders here. Please forgive my blood-hungry countrymen. Now, holy man, what do you want of me?
Only to bring you peace, great one.
But I want war, little Italian. I am conquering the world for Allah. That is why I was born. That is why I am Allah's instrument.
But, great Sultan, I am not talking about peace. That is the opposite of war. I speak of peace in your heart. A deep satisfaction and joy that flows from within like a rich red wine.
And what can give more inner peace to a warrior than victory in the battlefield?
Prayer, O child of Allah. Prayer.
Prayer? And do I not pray every day? Several times a day to Allah?
More, I am sure, great leader, than many Christians pray. But we want to teach you a new prayer that we have learned by waging the great battle within ourselves, by conquering one by one the demons in our own hearts. Your prayer is good, I am sure, but we want to teach you a new prayer.
Pray it for me now, here in front of this dullard who infest my tent.
Upang maihati
May mga Tagalog pala kayo eh. Holy man, dear brother, come here. Come here. I wish in my heart that there will be more gentlemen like you who will balance the forces of hatred and violence. Unfortunately, the world understands only two things: power and violence. Someday, your prayer says to me, the world will be turned upside down by little men who fast and pray and who die rather than take up the sword. But until that day comes, inshallah, it seems to me, can only be performed through violent men like me.
Then, Lord Sultan, will you pray for that day?
Little brother, little man, I will do more. I will let you let out of this camp alive so that you can pray for that day. I pray when after I am gone from this earth, but not before, Allah will change His mind and use me instruments like you, and that this great army of peace-loving beggars will balance and outnumber the forces of hatred and violence. Go to your drink. Dogs, take these fools out from our camp and give them safe passage to their people. I will not lower myself by harming vermin and beggars and threadbare Christians. You can see from their appearance how badly we have beaten down the Christians. Go!
Peace be to you.
Peace be to you.
Historians report that Malik al-Kamil was moved by his words and listened to Francis very willingly. With admiration for his visitor, the Sultan spared Francis and sent him back to Italy. Many a man has become a disciple of Francis. Most have sight enough to see his dream, but no depth of insight. They grasp the dream with their hands, yet when they try to make it to touch their practical lives, it withers and dies in their hands.
But this is not the experience of the fair young lady named Chiara. When she saw the dream, she touched it with a woman's practical intuition, and the dream grew in and blossomed into a flower so bright that, as her name declares, she has become a light to Franciscan souls everywhere.
Precisely. Chiara or Claire, the daughter of a nobleman of Assisi and 10 years younger than Francis, begged to join his gospel life of poverty. So Francis received her in 1212 with several other young women and placed them in a monastery where they developed a contemplative rule which expressed their commitment to peace, to prayer, and of course to solitude.
By successfully integrating Franciscan spirituality with a monastic lifestyle, Clare of Assisi proved to be one of the great religious innovators of her age. To this day, the poor Clares have retained their commitment to the contemplative life and continue as the cloistered branch of the Franciscan family.
Ladies and gentlemen, Francis with a beautiful Clare.
Oh, Brother Francis!
Claire!
It's nice to see you.
Brother Francis.
Come, let us share this gift of God's food.
Yes, Brother Francis, please give us your blessing.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
Brother Francis, there were times when your visits to us at San Damiano were frequent. Why have you invited us here today to St. Mary of the Angels?
Sister Claire, the brothers have told me of your desire to share a meal with me, and that I owe you this favor and comfort. We have long been hidden away, cloistered in San Damiano. And so, to please and strengthen you, I have invited you here to Saint Mary of the Angels. Remember, it was here that I cut off your long fair hair. Here that you were betrothed to Jesus Christ. And so, here we shall eat together in God's name.
Yes, I remember very vividly. Uncle,
Sister Claire, the brothers have told me of your desire to share a meal with me, and that I owe you this favor and comfort. You have long been hidden away, cloistered in San Damiano, and so to please and strengthen you, I have invited you here to Saint Mary of the Angels. Remember, it was here that I cut off your long fair hair, here that you were betrothed to Jesus Christ. And so, here we shall eat together in God's name.
yes, I remember very vividly how I begged here to follow the ideals with which Jesus had inspired you. I desired to embody in myself your dreams, your Lady Poverty, and your gospel ideals. I can still hear myself praying the words of my profession. I want only Jesus, and to live by the gospel in chastity, owning nothing.
I also recall those words. And now, because it was God Himself who inspired you to become a daughter and maidservant of the Most High and Supreme King, I personally promise, speaking also for my friars, that I shall always have the same loving care and special concern for you and your sisters as I do for them.
And to be worthy of that care and concern, I promise that I shall be true to the privilege given to me by the Apostolic See, the privilege of poverty, the right for me and my sisters to be and to remain poor. That is my promise. I am Brother Francis' little plant.
No, you are not the plant. You're the fruit. Part of the abundant fruit promised by the Lord Jesus Christ. Perhaps once you were a plant, but now you have already blossomed into the fairest flower of my dream.
If I am the flower, then the seed was sown when I was very young. Brother Francis, I used to watch you with your boy companions. I watched you not because you were rich or gaily dressed, or if you were handsome for, well, you are not. I watched you because, for one reason, you made me laugh. I see you run ahead of the others, singing, dancing, chattering, your laughter ringing louder, much louder than a big church bell. Then suddenly, you would go to a quiet place to be alone. You looked deeply troubled. It's as if you're communing with yourself, with nature, and with God. And then I realized that on those moments, the dream was taking hold of me. Tell me once again about the dream.
Yes, this was how God inspired me, Brother Francis, to embark upon a life of penance.
At first the sight of lepers frightened me, such outcasts they were I could see, but in dying to myself was born concern for those deprived of hope. What joy the power
also tell me, for I love to hear it too, how the dream came to you?
The words you breathe, Jesus strengthened me. Such as wisdom, it was I could see. And in dying to myself was born, love for God His Son and man. What joy the power of love can bring. The heart made easy, the rough made smooth, the bitter made sweet, the sweet made sweet. What joy the power of love can bring. Oh, Brother Francis, once I sang Saint Mary of the Angels. My hair so golden, my clothes were fine, for Lady Poverty's sweet brown dress. What joy the power of love can bring. The heart made easy, the rough made smooth, the bitter made sweet, the sweet made sweet. What joy the power of love can bring. Behind my life built our growing song that echoes from demanding grief. Pray what God did to you, my friend, that certainly will be for me. What joy the power of love can bring. That force may be everywhere. The bitterness will as our dream may do. What great power of love
Sister Claire, at the beginning of our meal, you told me that my visits to you are now infrequent. That is true. And so I have much to ask. Tell me this. When you and your sisters were first cloistered at San Damiano, the brothers used to go begging for your needs. But at one time, you sent them away. Why?
I sent them away because the Holy See had forbidden the friars to preach in our convent. If we can go without the spiritual food by the friars' sermons, then we can also go without the bodily bread begged by them.
Well, now we have permission to preach to you and your sisters. So I'll preach to you right here. Brothers, could you please hand me that bowl of ashes? Remember, Francis, you are but dust, and to dust you are to teach you a new prayer.
Pray for me now, here in front of these dullards who infest my tent. Ay, mga Tagalog pala kayo eh. Holy man, dear brother, come here. Come here. I wish in my heart that there will be more gentlemen like you who will balance the forces of hatred and violence. Unfortunately, the world understands only two things: power and violence. Someday, your prayer says to me, the world will be turned upside down by little men who fast and pray and who die rather than take up the sword. But until that day comes, intellect, it seems to me, can only be performed through violent men like me.
Then, Lord Sultan, will you pray for that day?
Little brother, little man, I will do more. I will let you let out of this camp alive so that you can pray for that day. I pray when after I am gone from this earth, but not before, Allah will change His mind and use me instruments like you, and that this great army of peace-loving beggars will balance and outnumber the forces of hatred and violence. Go to your drink. Dogs, take these fools out from our camp and give them safe passage to their people. I will not lower myself by harming vermin and beggars and threadbare Christians. You can see from their appearance how badly we have beaten down the Christians. Go!
Peace be to you.
Peace be to you.
Historians report that Malik al-Kamil was moved by his words and listened to Francis very willingly. With admiration for his visitor, the Sultan spared Francis and sent him back to Italy. Many a man has become a disciple of Francis. Most have sight enough to see his dream, but no depth of insight. They grasp the dream with their hands, yet when they try to make it to touch their practical lives, it withers and dies in their hands.
But this is not the experience of the fair young lady named Chiara. When she saw the dream, she touched it with a woman's practical intuition, and the dream grew in and blossomed into a flower so bright that, as her name declares, she has become a light to Franciscan souls everywhere.
Precisely. Chiara or Claire, the daughter of a nobleman of Assisi and 10 years younger than Francis, begged to join his gospel life of poverty. So Francis received her in 1212 with several other young women and placed them in a monastery where they developed a contemplative rule which expressed their commitment to peace, to prayer, and of course to solitude.
By successfully integrating Franciscan spirituality with a monastic lifestyle, Clare of Assisi proved to be one of the great religious innovators of her age. To this day, the poor Clares have retained their commitment to the contemplative life and continue as the cloistered branch of the Franciscan family.
Ladies and gentlemen, Francis with a beautiful Clare.
Oh, Brother Francis!
Claire!
It's nice to see you.
Brother Francis. Come, let us share this gift of God's food.
Yes, Brother Francis, please give us a blessing.
In nomine Patris et Filii Spiritus Sancti.
Brother Francis, there were times when your visits to us at San Damiano were frequent. Why have you invited us here today to St. Mary of the Angels?
Sister Claire, the brothers have told me of your desire to share a meal with me, and that I owe you this favor and comfort. You have long been hidden away, cloistered in San Damiano. And so, to please and strengthen you, I have invited you here to Saint Mary of the Angels. Remember, it was here that I cut off your long fair hair. Here that you were betrothed to Jesus Christ. And so, here we shall eat together in God's name.
Yes, I remember very vividly. Uncle,
Sister Claire, the brothers have told me of your desire to share a meal with me, and that I owe you this favor and comfort. You have long been hidden away, cloistered in San Damiano, and so to please and strengthen you, I have invited you here to Saint Mary of the Angels. Remember, it was here that I cut off your long fair hair, here that you were betrothed to Jesus Christ. And so, here we shall eat together in God's name.
yes, I remember very vividly how I begged here to follow the ideals with which Jesus had inspired you. I desired to embody in myself your dreams, your Lady Poverty, and your gospel ideals. I can still hear myself praying the words of my profession. I want only Jesus, and to live by the gospel in chastity, owning nothing.
I also recall those words. And now, because it was God Himself who inspired you to become a daughter and maidservant of the Most High and Supreme King, I personally promise, speaking also for my friars, that I shall always have the same loving care and special concern for you and your sisters as I do for them.
And to be worthy of that care and concern, I promise that I shall be true to the privilege given to me by the Apostolic See, the privilege of poverty, the right for me and my sisters to be and to remain poor. That is my promise. I am Brother Francis' little plant.
No, you are not the plant. You're the fruit. Part of the abundant fruit promised by the Lord Jesus Christ. Perhaps once you were a plant, but now you have already blossomed into the fairest flower of my dream.
If I am the flower, then the seed was sown when I was very young. Brother Francis, I used to watch you with your boy companions. I watched you not because you were rich or gaily dressed, or if you were handsome, for, well, you are not. I watched you because, for one reason, you made me laugh. I'd see you run ahead of the others, singing, dancing, chattering, your laughter ringing louder, much louder than a big church bell. Then suddenly, you would go to a quiet place to be alone. You looked deeply troubled. It's as if you're communing with yourself, with nature, and with God. And then I realized that on those moments, the dream was taking hold of me. Tell me once again about the dream.
Yes, this was how God inspired me, Brother Francis, to embark upon a life of penance.
At first the sight of lepers frightened me, such outcasts they were I could see, but in dying to myself was born concern for those deprived of hope. What joy the power
Could you also tell me, for I love to hear it too, how the dream came to you?
The words you bring, Jesus strengthens me. Such as wisdom, it was I could see. And dying to myself was born. Love for God, His Son, and man. What joy the power of love can bring. The heart made easy, the rough made smooth, the bitter made sweet, the sweet made sweet. What joy the power of love can bring. Oh, Brother Francis, once I sang, Saint Mary of the Angels. My hair so golden, my clothes were fine, for Lady Poverty's sweet brown dress. What joy the power of love can bring. The heart made easy, the rough made smooth, the bitter made sweet, the sweet made sweet. What joy the power of love can bring. Behind my life built our growing song that echoes from landing green. Pray what God did to you, my friend, that certainly will be for me. What joy the power of love can bring. That comforts me everywhere. That bitter makes sweet as I dream it. What great power of love
Sister Claire, at the beginning of our meal, you told me that my visits to you are now infrequent. That is true. And so I have much to ask. Tell me this. When you and your sisters were first cloistered at San Damiano, the brothers used to go begging for your needs. But at one time, you sent them away. Why?
I sent them away because the Holy See had forbidden the friars to preach in our convent. If we can go without the spiritual food by the friars' sermons, then we can also go without the bodily bread begged by them.
Well, now we have permission to preach to you and your sisters. So I'll preach to you right here. Brothers, could you please hand me that bowl of ashes? Remember, Francis, you are but dust, and to dust you will return. Have mercy on me, God, in your kindness. In your compassion blot out my offense.
Oh, wash me more and more from my guilt, and cleanse me from my sin. My offenses, truly I know them. My sin is always before me. Against you, you alone have I sinned. What is evil in your sight, I have done. Remember, Francis, you are but dust, and to dust you shall return. That is my sermon to you. You must see in me nothing but a poor sinner in sackcloth and ashes.
Brother Francis, I see in you and in your dreams the ideals of the gospel.
Then return to San Damiano. Return to the chapel that I restored with my own hands. Return to the crucifix that told me, Francis, repair my church. Go, poor lady of San Damiano. My dream is safe with you.
Thank you. Then we shall go.
One of our little brothers is a real gospel fool. He is not that little actually. His mind and heart harmoniously tuned to Francis' mind and heart.
His name is Brother Juniper.
Now, our brother Juniper was received into the order by Francis himself. But you would never guess by the stories they tell that this friar would ever qualify as saint.
For example, arriving in Rome after a long journey, Juniper encountered people who had heard his sanctity and had come to see him.
Alarmed at this deception, Juniper escaped to a nearby seesaw, where he played with the children till the sightseers left disgusted. He then continued to the convent.
Once he cared for a sick man who craved for a meal of pig's feet. Juniper captured a pig in a nearby field, cut off the foot, and cooked it for the sick man.
He did?
Yes, he did.
Oh my, what a fool. When the pig's owner found this, he angrily went to Juniper's superior. Of course, Juniper apologized so profusely. He talked the farmer into donating the rest of the pig to the convent, and presto, they had an instant lechon.
One day he was assigned to the kitchen as chief cook for the brothers. Friends, hold your breath, and we'll see what's going to happen.
Just hold your breath, don't breath.
I don't have time to say my prayers, to say my prayers, to say my prayers. I have to cook for my brother, morning, noon, and evening. I don't have time to say my prayers, to say my prayers, to say my prayers. I have to cook for my brother. I'm neglecting my nose and bed first. I have to do something. Aha! I know what I will do. I know what I will do. I know what I will do. I'll make them all a lovely stew that lasts for a week or two. I know what I will do. I know what I will do. I make them all a lovely stew that lasts for a week or two. I know what I will do. I know what I will do. I make them all a lovely stew that lasts for a week or two. I know what I will do. I know what I will do. I make them all a lovely stew that lasts for a week or two. I know what I will do. I know what I make them all a lovely stew that lasts for a week or two. I know what I will do. I know what I will do. I make them all a lovely stew that lasts for a week or two. Just little time in the kitchen I'll spend. Little time in the kitchen I'll spend. Then to my prayers I'll attend. To my prayers I'll attend. La 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 la. La 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 la. Your blessing, Father Guardian. Brother Juniper! What is it you're doing? I'm preparing a big meal, Father. A lovely stew that will last for 2 whole weeks. Food cooked at one time to last 2 whole weeks? What nonsense! What nonsense is this, brother? Actually, that's a chicken. I have to spend almost all day, every day here in the kitchen. So I don't have time to say my prayers in the chapel. No, Brother Juniper, no. I really came here to the kitchen to feel not about your cooking, but about another very serious matter. A matter that I've spoken to you about many times previously. You have given both clothes, altar cloth, and a habit. You've given those things away. And you know that too, because whenever a poor man comes to our convento to beg, the other friars have to hide the things they want to keep from you. And you know that too, because you yourself have given your own habit away. Sometimes it's sleep, sometimes it's food. Oh, Brother Joyper! Oh, I order you, under holy obedience, never to give your habit or any part of it away. Yes, Father Guardian. Yes, Father, that's right. Well then, why did you give your habit to that naked beggar you met yesterday? Well, kailangan pa bang i-memorize yan? Well, when he asked me for something for the love of God, I told him that, my dear man, I have nothing to give you except for my habit and my superior has told me, under obedience, not to give it or a part of it to anyone. But if you will pull it off from my back, I will certainly not prevent you. And you know, Father Guardian, the good person pulls my habit off and ran away with it, leaving me naked. Oh! 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 Brother Juniper, I've had enough. Let me taste some of your wonderful stew. Ah! I'll chop it later. Also that one. Brother Juniper! You wasted all this good food! Wasted God's gift! Yes, Father Guardian, I confess! I've spoiled my brother's food! Ruined God's gift! I wanted to have more prayer time in the chapel. But now, I know God will have no time for my prayers. No! No, Brother Juniper. This is enough. This is enough. Oh, Brother Guardian, please wait for just a moment. No, Brother Juniper, I've lost all patience with you. No, but actually I've also cooked a lovely porridge. I just put a little butter to it. I beg you, Father, to please eat it. You've been shouting at me. Your throat must be sore. This porridge with butter will be good for your throat and chest. Come on, Father, eat it. I'll hold the bowl for you. No, no, Brother Juniper. This is just another one of your foolish tricks. No, Father Guardian, no. But if you won't eat it, and the porridge is cooked and has to be eaten, so you hold the bowl for me here while I do the eating. Yeah. Lovely, isn't it? Oh, Brother Juniper, you're a fool. God's little fool. Come on. No wonder Francis says of you, I wish we had a hole for it, full of such juniper trees. In this chat, we'll be chasing what is top tier to say. Butterflies, we had cash, cars, chicks, and the work. Everything is hard to die, and the first. Yeah, to his homies, he's the man. Not knowing that God is one big fan. Come on, yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on, y'all. Raise the roof, y'all. Take the floor, y'all. Yeah, yeah. One more time. Yeah. Whose turn, y'all? Go next song. Here we go, yo. Let's up the next song, y'all. My church is falling to lose. That's what the Father tells me to do. It's immortal, let's go. Come on, on, y'all. Put your hands together one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. With the roof, y'all. Jump, jump, come on, y'all. Hands up there, y'all. Put your hands together. Raise your hands in the air like you just don't care. Come on. This your night, y'all. This our night, yeah.
Tell of His mercy, sing of His love. Let man glorify His name.
Y'all. Here we go, next song.
Yo, this is the song.
Go, next song.
Itong sikid kakaiba talaga. Lahat ng iyo'y binigay ng Ama. Kaya ang pera ay walang halaga. Para lang lumigaya ang buhay niya. Come on.
Siyang inatupad kundi barkada. Araw-araw siyang nasa kalsada. Araw at gabi agad puro saya. Yan si Kiko bago makilala ang Diyos Ama. Yo!
What a man! What a man! What a man!
Don't build my
Yeah,
church,
don't be my church, y'all.
That's
JC,
what
y'all.
the Father
JC,
tells me
y'all. Praise the Lord, y'all.
Don't divorce
Come on,
let's build together this lowly house of God.
We gotta build a church, yo. Come on.
To
every town
and
hill, nation, valley.
Rich was
The good Lord has done for us. The Lord good, y'all. Raise your hands, y'all. Everybody now, come on. Right up front. Come on, one more time. We're the seminarians, y'all. Yo, Franciscan seminarians. Bring it together, y'all. Raise the roof, y'all. Yeah.
I was
Here we go. Friend, he was a guy who lived really good. He had so much to body, but never did he get one million. The sun took his course to the sky. Every chick he wanted to stop used to be butterfly. He a cat, car, chick, and the bird. Everything is hard to decide. All the first kick to his homies. Be the man that's knowing that I have one big thing. Go to the next song, come on, y'all.
Itong sikid kakaiba talaga. Lahat ng luwi binigay ng Ama. Kaya ang pera ay walang halaga. Para lang lumigaya ang buhay niya.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking, y'all. That's what I'm saying. Come on, sing along, y'all. You guys up there, you happy, y'all? Hey, brothers and sisters, how you doing? Seminarian. You got a purpose to praise the Lord, y'all. Come on. JC, y'all. Praise the Lord, y'all. Praise the Lord, y'all. Yeah. The dream, y'all.
It's haunting me. It's pursuing me everywhere. The dream makes it clear as I journey to Him. Take it out, Joe. This is my song for the Lord.
So you gotta cut yourself, yo. You gotta let go. Say goodbye, y'all. Peace. Good night, y'all.
Thank you.
Yo.
That was nice.
People, all of you say, what's up? Come on.
What's up?
A little bit louder.
What's up?
Louder.
There
Enough.
you go. There you go.
Okay, and so, thank you.
Okay.
Now
Back
we're
to
going
business.
to listen to the sweet voices of Novo Concertante Manila. They joined us for last year's concert to run their peace songs composed by the Franciscans.
The renditions of the prayer before the crucifix opened our show tonight. They are last year's a cappella champions in Busan, Korea, and choral singing champions in Malaysia as well. Please welcome, with a warm round of applause, the Novo Concertante Manila under the musical direction of Professor Arwin Tan.
Your hands, please. My dear friends, do you know that it was Saint Francis who started making Christmas cribs or Belen?
Who among you doesn't know about this? Please raise your right hand.
Who among you here? Raise your right hand, don't be shy. Come
Okay,
on.
now you know. That's it. What we mean is that one time in Italy, Francis thought of celebrating the birthday of Jesus Christ. He wanted to recall how poor Jesus was even in his birth. The scriptures say that he was born in a manger, wrapped in swaddling clothes, because they had no room in the inn.
Poor and simple Jesus. So he asked brothers to prepare a place in a cave in Greccio, specifying that beside the altar, they would place hay and then they would bring an animal, an ass during the celebration. During the celebration, there was so much joy. The mountain brightened, and seeing it aglow even from a distance, the people were amazed.
According to a legend, the hay became medicinal for those who are having trouble in giving birth. From that time on, in the history of the Christian world, people tried to make Christmas cribs to celebrate Christmas. My dear brothers and sisters, Novo Concertante Manila will render 2 Christmas songs composed by a Franciscan inspired by Saint Francis.
It is the first time these songs will be sung in public in honor of the poor and simple baby Jesus, whose birthday we will soon celebrate. The songs capture the serenity and the simplicity of the first Christmas in Bethlehem and the Christmas at Greccio.
Merry Christmas, Josh.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Harold.
Mm-hmm.
So I just would like to remind everybody that if you have any donations during Christmas, our seminar is very much open for your generation.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Merry
you very
Christmas
much.
po. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on.
Okay.
It's better to give than to receive.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, please welcome the Novo Concertante Manila with Professor Arwin Tan.
The Prayer of Peace by Saint Francis is a beloved and familiar prayer that encapsulates the dream of every Christian to be a better person, a better Christian, in order that the peace which passes all understanding may be achieved by every person on earth.
The Novo Concertante Manila will present the inspiring words of Saint Francis in a new arrangement, much like the way one takes a diamond out of an old ring and places it into a new setting so that it may sparkle and give joy to more people.
For your listening pleasure, the Peace Prayer of Saint Francis, as arranged by Mr. Robert Delgado and sung by Novo Concertante Manila. Wow, superb. What say you, Harold?
Excellent.
Talaga.
We have also a good singer who has recorded a lot of Franciscan compositions. These recordings have been compiled into one album entitled Sing Prayers with Brother Ariel. Today he will render for us a song composed primarily for the Yupra, or Young Franciscans.
By the way, there are many different groups of Franciscan in the whole world. We categorize them into four. The first order,
Which are the Order of Friars Minor, or simply OFMs.
the OFM Capuchins, and of course, the OFM Conventuals.
And the third order regular, which accounts for the SFICs, FMMs, FMIJs, and other groups. These groups under the third order are called to take care of the UFRA, which is a very good source of vocation.
Among the second order, of course, we have the poor clerics who live in monasteries. Then, we have the third order, better known as the secular Franciscan order.
Now with his song, Simulan Natin ang Bukas, please welcome Brother Ariel Manga, OFM.
Your hands, please.
May mga Yufra ba nandito? Ayun, sabayan niyo ako ha. Sabay tayo.
Simulan natin ang bukas, simulan natin ngayon. Halina mga kabataan, tayong lahat umunlad at sumulo. Simulan natin ang bukas, simulan natin ngayon. Itaguyod ang kapatiran, kayong kabataang pag-asa ng bukas, ng bukas. Tumugon tayo sa pagtawag ni Francisco, ating patron. Maglingkod sa kapwa kabataan. Handa ka bang maglaan ng iyong panahon? Tumugon tayo sa pagtawag ng mahal nating tuon. Maglingkod sa kapwa kabataan. Ipadama natin sila'y mahal ng Diyos. Ikaw, ako, tayong lahat, tanging isang hanggang pinagbuklod ng pagmamahalan. Ikaw, ako, tayong lahat, pinatasang magpahayag ng kabutihan at kapayapaan. Pagkat ikaw at ako at tayong lahat, inaasahang magtatag ng kaharian. Pagkat ikaw at ako at tayong lahat ang magsisimula ng magandang bukas. Ang magsisimula ng magandang bukas.
Thank you, Brother Ariel. What an angelic voice.
Correction, Josh, it's seraphic voice.
Okay.
Yeah, kasi Franciscan tayo eh.
Okay. Point taken.
Okay.
We are so honored tonight by the presence of a very famous singer. His face is a familiar one on television, as he sings meaningful songs while strumming on his guitar.
Now you will see him live and in person as he sings a very special song recorded for the Pondo ng Pinoy project of Archbishop Gaudencio Rosales.
The song was composed by the noted Catholic composer Father Carlo Magno Marcelo, the composer behind Only Selfless Love and other inspirational songs. At these points, we would like to request a little audience participation. Kaya kindly please stand.
Please stand.
That's it, stand. Thank you.
Yeah. Stand po. Medyo stretch tayo ng
Yeah.
konti.
Okay? And then put your hands on your shoulders. Pero hindi ganyan.
Okay. And as Mr. Noel Cabangon renders the song, please follow the Greenbelt Chapel coordinators as they interpret the words to Kahit Isang Kusing.
Feel the song, ladies and gentlemen.
Ready na yung mga kamay nyo? Yung action pa? Ising po ba kayo? Ising po ba kayo?
Araw-araw nag-iipon ng isang munting baon ng pag-asa at gana, kabuuang magaganap. Kahit baya'y naghihirap, ito'y babangon maglalaya tungo sa buhay na kahit payak ay di sana. Ano man magaling, kahit na maliit, basta't malimit ay patungong langit. Kahit na isang kusing, ito ay may dating sa pusong may pag-ibig, may pangarap na sasapit, at ang tanging niyang sandigan ay ang Diyos at kapatid. Gabi-gabi lumilingon sa isang maghapon na puno ng pagtsatsaga sa gawaing ihanda upang ang bayan ay magising at kalayaan ay kamtin. Buhay ay giginhawa kung tulong-tulong lang pala.
Kanta rin po kayo.
Ano man magaling, kahit na maliit, basta't malibit ay patungong lagi. Kahit na isang kusing, ito ay may dating sa pusong may pag-ibig, may pangarap na sasapit, at ang tanging niyang handigan ay ang Diyos at kapatid. Isang simula sa lahat may anyaya, isang pagbabago, ang lahat magsasalo. Araw-araw nag-iikot ang bunting baon sa lahat sa asaran magaganap. Kahit ba'y naghihirap, babangon maglalaya tungo sa buhay na kaya nag-isa lang. Ano man magaling, kahit na maliit, basta't malimit ay patungong langit. Kahit na isang kusing, ito ay may dating sa puso may pag-ibig,
may pangarap na sasabing at ang tanging niyang handigan ay ang Diyos at kapatid.
Parinig nga pong boss niyo.
Ano ba ating namadiin? Basta ang limit ay patungong langit. Kahit ay isang pusin, ito ay may dating. Sa puso may pag-ibig, may pangarap na sasabi, at ang tanging niyang handigan ay ang Diyos at kapatid. Kahit isang susi, ito ay may dating.
Sige, Harold, sample nga. Harold, we get a few lines. Come on.
Ayoko.
Sige na, sige na. Second voice ako.
Oh,
Sige na, sige na.
kahit.
Kahit na.
Diba?
Sige lang.
Tama na lang.
Napaka-Francis kanila, no? Brown na brown.
Mm.
Anyway. We are now in the third and last part of our drama concert. Every year on October 3, the different Franciscan families gather together to celebrate the transitus, or the passing away of Saint Francis of Assisi.
Here in this auditorium, we will see again how Saint Francis demonstrates his poverty and simplicity until the end of his life, as he tries to imitate Christ, who died naked on the cross. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow lovers of Saint Francis, the Transitus.
Father Francis, we're here. Thank you, brothers, for bringing me here to Porciuncula, so I can turn my face once again to Assisi. From Assisi, I set out to pursue my dreams, and to this city, I come back at journey's end. And now, I bless you and all my absent brethren. I bless all who shall come to embrace Lady Poverty. hereafter. I bless as much as I can and more than I can. But why are you weeping, brothers? Why are you sad? Come, I wish to sing the Cantico Il Frate Sole, the sun song. In my blindness, I cannot see, but let this place be bright with light. But Father Francis, we've been singing that song all day, over and over again. Yes, I know. But now that you are here, gathered around me, I wish to sing it just once more. May I then sing it with you for the last time? Very well. Let us sing it for the last time. Alleluia, strike the harp and sing. I will wake the dawn. It's given to man to praise his Lord, as long as he shall breathe. Hallelujah, strike the harp and sing. I will wake the dawn. It's given to man to praise his Lord, as long as he shall breathe. He praise my Lord with all your creatures. First of all, brother sun, through whom you bring the day to light. Most high, he is your sign. Hallelujah, strike the harp and sing. I will wake the dawn. It's given to man to praise his Lord, as long as he shall breathe. He praised my Lord for sister moon. You formed her in the sky, a glowing queen with course of starlight, precious, bright, and fair. Hallelujah, strike the harp and sing. I will wake the dawn. It's given to man to praise his Lord, as long as he shall breathe. Be praised, my Lord, for brother wind. His breath surrounds the earth. Be praised, my Lord, for sister water, crystal body pure. Hallelujah, strike the harp and sing. I will wake the dawn. It's given
to man to praise His Lord, as long as He shall breathe. Be praised, my Lord, for Mother Earth. Her beauty echoes yours. Bright scarlet flowers, verdant meadows, nature bless the Lord. Hallelujah, strike the harp and sing. I will make a dawn. Is given to man to praise His Lord, as long as He shall breathe. And now be praised and blessed, my Lord, in this fair canticle, and I will sing and serve my Lord with great humility. I wish to lie naked on the ground for my meeting with Sister Death. I cried to the Lord with my voice. With my voice, I made supplication to the Lord. In His sight, I pour out my prayer, and before Him, I declare my trouble. I cried to you, O Lord, I said, you are my hope
my portion in the land of the living. Attend to my supplication, for I am brought low indeed. When my spirit fails me, then you will surely know my path. Bring my soul out of prison, that I may praise your name. The just wait for me until you reward me.
Other friends, I, Brother Elias, am lending you this habit under holy obedience. You have no right, a property of it. So I forbid you to give it away or to remove it from your body.
Oh, Lady Poverty, you have remained loyal to me right up to my meeting with Sister Death. You have sent Brother Elias to deny me my own will of dying naked on the ground. But he only lends me this habit so I can go to my meeting with Sister Death, stripped naked, like Jesus, with nothing of my own. And now, my lady, comes unto my death, telling me again that joy is in being poor. Now I am empty of worldly cares. My dream comes true at her knees. And Francis is dead. Francis is dead.
They might be wondering why we are wearing shades.
Yes, because nakalagay sa script, do not forget to wear shades, please. Har, har, har. Hindi. Ibig sabihin. We're going to introduce a star actually. A shining star, yes.
A supernova, Josh?
Hindi, tumasabog yun eh. Shining star lang.
Okay.
At this point, let us listen to closing remarks of Father Antonio Maria Rosales, OFM, the parish priest of Santuario de San Antonio, Forbes Park, and a definitor of the Franciscan province of San Pedro Bautista.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow lovers of St. Francis, the ever handsome parish priest of Santuario,
The coolest,
Father Tony Rosales, OFM.
I hope you are enjoying or you have enjoyed the presentation of our seminarians this evening. We are very privileged and honored with the presence of His Excellency, Bishop Tony of Novaliches, is right there. We were classmates many years ago. Although we were a few years older siya, pero classmates kami. Because in those days, some subjects we had together, those of us who were in college level and they who were in theology. But we are very happy because of your presence, Your Excellency. And the last part of the program that we just finished was rather a very heavy part. So I will invite you to take a deep breath and exhale. Again, please. And exhale. Thank you. That's very nice. And first of all, you know, that part was very moving because I have always wondered what kind of underwear St. Francis was wearing. Actually, in the original plan, in the original script, as you heard St. Francis say, he wanted to die naked. And he was supposed to be naked. But then, when we saw that the bishop was here, and the sisters are here, so we decided that he should wear underwear. And that's good that because he was wearing a dark underwear, that's very practical for the Franciscans. Because of our vow of poverty. Not poverty, but poverty. And a colored underwear is the most practical. There is, however, something that is missing here in our list of participants. There is no mention of the chicken. Of the chicken. And considering how that chicken was abused, not only once, but several times this afternoon, today, I wonder if in the Diocese of Novaliches, there is also a commission for the human rights of chicken, so that we can protect the rights of chicken from now on. Before I continue, Paul, I would like to plug a concert by Claire de la Fuente, the one who was St. Clair in our Dian de la Fuente. Well, you know how confused. You know, I am old. Please bear with me. This concert is a solo birthday concert of Diane at ABS-CBN Dish on November 20, which is the birthday of Father Cielo. It is going to be at 9 in the evening. The tickets are at $2.50 and they can be purchased at the entrance. The birthday of Diane is November 18. So please, if you are free, you try to attend that concert. I'm sure it is going to be a very wholesome concert because somebody who played St. Clair will not be able to do any other, you know, kind of Aramina type. So we would like to close this evening particularly by thanking our seminarians. Remember that I would just like to mention that about 5 or 6 years ago, there was a celebration in the among the secular clergy. It was, I think, an anniversary of the ordination of the first secular priest. And on that occasion, there was in the Archdiocese of Manila a survey that was made about the characteristics or qualities that the lay people would like their priests to have. After receiving the results of the survey,
They tallied the results. And the three top qualities were, number one, they want their priest to be guapo, good looking. Secondly, they want their priest to be mabait, kind, gentle. Thirdly, they want their priest to be madaling lapitan, available, that you can go to them to ask for their help anytime. So as you can see in our seminary training, we certainly also put some importance on good looks, because good looks encourage the people to come to church. They like to see a good-looking priest. But we do not put too much emphasis on that, as you can see with some of our seminarians. We're not very strict on that. But on the other hand, we are very strict on the second quality, mabait and madaling lapitan. In their formation, their formators are very good, are very sharp, very, very strict, in that our seminarians will be mabait, will be madaling lapitan. Because after all, Saint Francis was certainly not a good-looking saint. Basing ourselves on his existing portrait in the churches of Assisi, we discover, as Claire herself mentioned in the episode, that Francis was not good-looking. At least not as good-looking as the one who portrayed him, Robert John, or our MCs, Josh and Harold. And so at the same time, we are grateful for the presence of the relatives of our participants. It is good that your presence here is an affirmation of what we are doing in the seminary. You know that the training of a seminarian is quite difficult and very costly. And that is why we organize this concert to raise funds for our seminarians. And your presence here is certainly an affirmation that you want to support this very important work of the church. That you want our seminarians to be mabait and to be madaling dapitan. Never mind the good looking. If they are good looking, thank God, well and good. But that is not very important. So we thank especially, we are going to have VCDs and DVDs of this concert. We will be able to send copies to their relatives in the Visayas and Mindanao, since many of our seminarians come from outside of Metro Manila. Only very few are from this area. And I do not know if some of their relatives even bothered to come. Still, they will be able to watch the performance through DVD and VCD. With that, I would like to again express great thanks to all of you for supporting our activities, for supporting our endeavors. The sisters, the religious here, certainly will not contribute very much, but you contribute with your prayers, with your great support for the work of our formators and our seminarians, as you have seen this evening. They are not only just studying, they are also learning how to sing and sing very well, as you have seen this evening and heard as well. They also pray very much. They play, they do everything that most young people are interested in. So let us pray for them, let us continue to support them, and thank you for your presence here this evening.
You
With that, ladies and gentlemen, our drama concert draws to a close. We thank you for your generous gifts of time and financial support, and most of all, for your presence here tonight. Rest assured that your participation in raising up workers for the Lord's harvest will return to you in blessings beyond measure from a God who will not be outdone in giving. Let us also acknowledge the following major sponsors, without whom this show would not have been possible. Ms. Carmen Intengan, Ms. Cynthia Cheng, Ms. Petrona Lim, Ms. Pilar Halandoni, the RCBC Realty Corporation, and the Alfonso Yuchenko Foundation, Incorporated. Let us also, with our deepest gratitude and warm applause, acknowledge the gift of our talented guest performers. The Novo Concertante Manila under the musical direction of Professor Arwin Tan. Mr. Noel Cabangon, lead singer for Kahit sa Isang Kusing, theme song Pondo ng Pinoy. The Greenbelt Chapel coordinators and servants led by Ms. Baby Elecanal. Our homegrown seminary talents, the Franciscan seminarians and student friars, the OLAS band, and the OLAS rappers. And now the cast of our drama presentation. Mr. Chito Alagao as Sultan Melek Al-Kabil. Mr. Leo Patian and Seminarian Ace Cara as the Sultan's soldiers. Mr. Tito Doroja as Bishop Guido of Assisi. Seminarian Bernard Gulay as the Gospel Cantor. Seminarian Randy Rendora as Brother Juniper, together with the presentation mascot. Seminarian Anthony Valenzuela as the Father Guardian. Seminarian Mansueto Gabon as Brother Illuminato, companion of St. Francis. Ms. Tess Robarios as St. Clare's companion. Ms. Diane de la Fuente as St. Clare. Seminarian Robert John Abada as St. Francis of Assisi. Our most excellent Masters of Ceremony, Seminarian Josh Guyo and Seminarian Harold Eugenio. And now may I call on the stage director, Father Christopher Tibong, OFM. Oh, before I forget, please show your appreciation for the father of St. Francis, Seminarian Vonsi del Mundo.
Monsignor! Monsignor! What is this? Look what happened to my son! Just look at him! Pietro! Stop shouting at me. Nagmumukha akong tanga. Anong problema?
Monsignor! Bilog ang mundo! I cannot accept this foolishness, Monsignor!
Pietro, behave! People are looking at us. Tapos na eksena natin. Why don't we just bow graciously to the audience?
I hope they have gotten the message of my son. And I just pray that the story of my son continues to inspire you people. Di ba simple lang ang anak ko? Pero radikal.
And so we draw the curtain on tonight's performance. Go in God's peace and with our heartfelt gratitude. Thank you and good night.
At first the sight of leopards frightened me. Such outcasts they were I could see. But in dying to myself was born concern for those deprived of home. What joy!